Welcome everybody to the Bay Work training buffet. As Robert said earlier, this is our last of 12 sessions, and it's great to have our really valuable partner, Valley Water, lead us in this discussion with two really staunch supporters of Bay Work, Mira Burton and Ingrid Bella. Again, as we've seen, please add your name and your agency and your position, your title to the chat, and take it away, Mira and Ingrid.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm actually going to turn it over to Ingrid first. Just want to say excited. Thank you, Bay Work, for having us today. And I hope the audience does receive some relevant, realistic, and relatable information. So Ingrid, the show is yours.
All right, thank you, Mara. Are you going to advance the slide?
I am trying to do that right now.
All right. So for folks who can't see me necessarily on the screen, if you're looking at the screen, we had a couple of slides just to introduce ourselves. I see some familiar faces on the participants list. So hello to all of you that I do know and welcome. Just wanted to give you a little bit of background. As Elizabeth said, I'm a real big fan and staunch supporter of Bay Work. Had the privilege of being the chair for this wonderful coalition for at least 6 years. It seems like I've been with you guys forever. We're one of the charter members and have really loved seeing how Bay Work has been able to help our industry, really prepare for the needs that we're going to have in the future, obviously, for these types of positions in the water industry. And I've had over 15 years of HR management experience in private industry and then came here, and I can't believe I've been here almost over 18 years now. And I'm currently the HR manager, and I'm very excited to have Mara with us. She's actually on loan for us right now, and she'll talk a little bit about what she does here at Valley Water, but it's been great to have her working on this really exciting project. So handing it back to you, Mara.
Thanks, Ingrid. Thank you so much. So thanks, everyone. My name is Mira Burton. I have been with Valley Water for about 4 years now, but I want to take you kind of to the past, and that way you can understand where we're going in the future. So before I came to Valley Water, I grew up in Mountain View, right down the street here. I went to Los Altos High School. I graduated from Los Altos High School. Then I went on to get my master's degree in STEM education from Santa Clara University. That led to a beautiful 10-year career teaching high school. So I taught Resource, which is a really great program for students that have different learning abilities and learning challenges to help them access the A through G, that is the teacher talk for the requirements that students need to graduate high school and go on to a 4-year university. So I'm highly trained in that as well. Then when I left Palo Alto High School, I taught on the east side of San Jose. So I taught math and science at the 8th grade level. And that led to a career working for NASA here in Santa Clara County at the NASA Ames campus. And I tell you all this to let you know that all of these time throughout my career and growing up, I never knew where my water came from. I did not know about Valley Water or Santa Clara Valley Water District. And I also didn't know about these amazing, lucrative, and lasting careers that I could have helped my students discover. And so because of my ignorance, I actually talked about this on my interview at Valley Water. It's really my passion and my goal and my mission just to make sure that residents of Santa Clara County know about Valley Water. And that leads to my job here at Valley Water is managing the education outreach team. So I have had the honor and the privilege to lead early career professionals. A lot of our education outreach team is made up of interns, recent college graduates, and people that are, looking to take that next step in their career. In education outreach, our main job is to go into classrooms throughout Santa Clara County. And so we work with students from kindergarten through 12th grade, even, doing some college classrooms as well, too, helping to shred the messaging of stewardship, water conservation, flood preparedness. And so it's just been a really great way for myself to learn about the water industry and learn about the various careers in water. I love this photo here because what you're seeing is our education outreach team as we are showing some of our favorite friends here. This is Elmo and Grover. And this is actually the puppets that we use for one of our library programs where we're delivering conservation messaging to 3-year-olds. And it's really exciting and it's really engaging and it's a fun way just to get students and kids thinking about what they can do to help, conserve water. I also love this picture here because the gentleman holding the blue ukulele, his name is Trevor Smith. Trevor Smith was with our education outreach team for years, for about 3.5 years. And it was sad to see him go, but extremely happy to say that he left because he discovered his own career in the water industry. And now Trevor Smith is working for the city of San Mateo as a water treatment plant operator and a water operator. And so we're really excited for Trevor to be on his next steps of his career. And he'll tell you that he discovered his water career here at Valley Water and working with our education outreach team. And that's really one of my goals as well too, is to, to turn more people into Trevor Smiths, to have them understand that there are wonderful careers in the water industry and that you can take the skills and the trainings and experience that you have had maybe in a different industry and translate that here to as a career in water. So I am also part of one of our ERGs, that's our employee resource groups. And if you have been tuning in all week, you would have heard from our WOW ERG, or Wonders of Water ERG. So I have the pleasure of being the social chair for the Association of Black Employees. And part of my job and duty is to sit in and listen to diversity ad hoc meetings. And at one of these meetings last year, but maybe 2021, there was a large discussion on the necessity and the wishing for a career pathways program. And I thought, wow, this is really one of the great opportunities here. And as Ingrid told you, I'm on loan from working in education outreach, but I saw an opportunity to bring my skills and my talents and my desires to help Valley Water with their mission and goal of creating a career pathways program. And so one of the things that they were talking about in the meetings was expanding programs and outreach efforts to increase awareness and to reduce the disparities in careers in the STEAM industry. And for all of you non-classroom educators here, STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And that's, our STEAM industry. We were also discussing ways to do targeted outreach to high schools and local community colleges and universities to obtain a homegrown talent and diversity. This is something that we do throughout the NASA, and you might see, other industries doing the same thing. And so the conversation at DNI had ad hoc is, how come the water industry is not doing this? And then there was a real need to an understanding about the collaboration with partners to create an alternative pathway for underrepresented communities to obtain careers in the STEAM industry. And, as we've heard throughout the different conversations, that those DNI missions and objectives are so important now. And really the outcome was to create an employment pathway for underrepresented local communities. And so when I heard that that was Valley Water's mission, I got really excited. I was able to apply to the rotation program. I met with Ingrid and said, Ingrid, I have this really great idea. I have this passion, and I would love to come over and help Valley Water start a career pathways program. And so all of the powers that be agreed that this was an initiative that was important to Valley Water. And so I came over to work in HR, human resources, in March of this year. And so the presentation that I'm going to present to you is really the brainchild and the wish of our DNI ad hoc committee the commitment to Valley Water and their mission to really creating employment pathways for underrepresented local communities. And then my own personal passion for wanting to make sure that students throughout California have an understanding of careers in the water industry. So the first thing I did is I took a look at some other organizations and agencies that were already doing career pathways. And I came across the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority Metro Career Pathways. And I was so excited because they have such a great foundation and framework. They really focus on two areas. They're current college students, and that's offering mentorships, and then also high school students, and that's offering a transportation career academy. I also want to say, as I was beginning to do research, Valley Water was also in the process of hiring a new deputy for our human resources team. And lo and behold, the new deputy who came, her name is Patrice McElroy. She actually was working with the LA Metro, helping to launch their career pathways program. So talk about serendipity and, stars aligning and all the right people in all the right places, having the right conversations at the right times. So now Valley Water is actually able to, really take part of Patrice's knowledge in starting these wonderful pathways programs. So I was able to look at LA Metro, and then I also wanted to look at a water industry standard. And so I went to the California Urban Water Agency and looked at their diversity, equity, and inclusion toolkit and some of their best practices for working with disadvantaged communities. And I was actually really excited to see that some of their best practices that they said was to obtain homegrown talent and diversity, which made me excited because that was also, a requirement and a wish for Valley Water's D&I ad hoc committee. Another thing that KUA said was important is to expand programs and outreach efforts to increase career awareness. Well, geez, we were talking about that in diversity and ad hoc committees as well too. And then to collaborate with partners to create alternative career pathways. And I thought, this is where I come in. This is where I'm able to use my subject matter expertise. I speak engineering, I speak scientist, I speak educator, I speak student. Let me go out and help spread the message and really help us, Valley Water, collaborate with our external partners to create these pathways. Now, before I get started, I want to tell you how Valley Water is defining our disadvantaged communities. We are using our board governance policy. The glossary here has a wonderful definition of our disadvantaged communities here. And so, this way our program is in alignment with our mission, our goals, and our values here at Valley Water. And we're really looking at, household incomes. And here in Santa Clara County and throughout the Bay Area, as we're all well aware of, there are many, many households beyond colored lines that fall within, the 80% of the median household income. And so for me, it's really important that, this is an equitable and universal program so that, all peoples are able to take part in the program. And it's something that's really looking more at a disadvantaged community or a disadvantaged student, and then how to give them those advantages. In the education world, sometimes you might hear people talking about the achievement gap, and that's the gap between students of color and other students and just, what they're achieving in terms of academic success. But you can also talk about, the equity and access gap here in the corporate world. And so really helping to, modify and lower some of those challenges for all peoples here that might fall within the disadvantaged communities. And so here's the framework that I'm going to share with you, and then I'll take a deeper dive into each 4 of these. And so the Next Gen program is really for step 1, what I did is I took a look at a program that the board ad hoc committee wanted to, as a priority item. And this is a 6-month work experience program. I'll dive a little bit deeper into that program in a minute, but I'll tell you what I did as my, research and development. So I started off reviewing the American Water Works Association, or the AWAA scholarships, and also looking at the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, their water workforce resources for programmatic framework and industry alignment. You know, for me, it was really important to make sure that this program is sustainable and measurable. And so using industry standard alignment is just language that I don't have to explain to, Valley Water leadership, because it's, aligned with the EPA and the AWAA. For our Discover Valley Water program, and this is a program to expand our internships, what I did is, and what we were doing here in HR, is really developing and expanding our collaborations with Silicon Valley Leadership Group and the United Negro College Fund. And I'll talk more about where those relationships and where those partnerships are leading to for our Discover Valley Water project. Then we have the high school internship program. And so what we were doing here over the summer and during last school year was really hosting scoping sessions with community partners and attending local high school, college, and career fairs to hear what the need from the community was and to see how our Valley Water Next Gen workforce development program can really fit the needs of the community. And something that is near and dear to my heart is the teacher externship program. And so Valley Water will continue to provide educational activities and engagements with subject matter experts and work with Baywork as one of our community partners for the Baywork Teacher Externship Week. And we also are working with the Tech STEM Pathways Advisory Board to help to support their STEM Pathways Advisory Summer Institute, where they bring K through 12 teachers on board to work with industry subject matter experts to learn about various projects and programs throughout the community, and then build lesson plans around those projects and programs to take back to their students. And so all this has culminated into a work plan that establishes the selection processes for agencies that we're going to be working with, how to determine school partners. It also includes strategies for outreach, recruitment, selection, bestowal, announcement, onboarding, training, continued engagement, and mentorship. So as you can see, and as you will see, the Valley Water Next Gen Workforce Development Program is a coordinated system of programs aimed to support students from disadvantaged communities on all levels. And as you can see, a lot of thought has gone into the foundation for this program. So here are the 4 different initiatives for the Valley Water Next Gen Workforce Development Program. Our first initiative is a college program. It's a 6-month work experience program for local college students that will earn $1,000 at the completion of the program. Our target audience is college students from disadvantaged communities, our local community college students as well too. I'll dive deeper into these 4 different initiatives throughout the presentation as well. The next initiative is Discover Valley Water, and this aims to increase our candidate diversity for the summer intern program. We will also have 10 additional summer intern positions for college students from disadvantaged communities, and our target audience are minority serving institutions, HBCUs, historical Black colleges and university, local community colleges, and then also our tribal colleges and universities. Valley Water has a commitment to work with our tribal colleges and communities to help strengthen our partnerships from our First Peoples and Native lands. The next 2 initiatives are high school focused. So we have our Wonders of Water. This is our high school career pathways internship program. Focus on target audience is our local high school students from disadvantaged communities. And you'll see in our presentation how we plan to also weave in our skilled trades and our career technical education programs here in Santa Clara County to make this a really lucrative and engaging program for our high school students. And then lastly, as I said before, a program that is near and dear to my heart is the Water Educator Training Week, or the WET Week. And this is the annual Valley Water, Bay Work, and Ignited teacher externship program. And as I mentioned, we're also working with the Tech STEM Pathways to help support their teacher extern programs. And our target audience is our local high school and K-8 educators or K-12 educators who teach in disadvantaged communities. And so, as I said, I'm going to take a deeper dive into each of those 4 initiatives. So for the first initiative I'll talk about is our Waterworks, which is a work experience program for local college students. This summer, I had the pleasure of having an amazing intern, Alexia Ledesma Gutierrez. So just want to give her a shout out. And what I had her do in the very beginning is to kind of just take a deep dive into what do we have? You know, what is Valley Water doing right? And how can we expand some of our programs? So our deputy also sat down with Alexia and said, hey, I really want to understand what kind of training Valley Water is offering. And so Alexia was able to use our internal trainings and work with our workforce development program to identify trainings that could be used for our Waterworks program. And then trainings that would help to employees progress on their career scaffolding or that career ladder. So trainings that aren't just great for our next gen or pre-employment, but also trainings that build employees, managers, supervisors, and executives, all helping them reach that next level. I have the privilege of having another amazing intern currently. He's a year-round intern here at Valley Water. His name is Uwa Lucy. He's unfortunately not on the call today, but Uwa is also a human resources student at San Jose State. And so what he did is he said, hey, Merritt, you know, I really think it'd be good for us to have an understanding of what local colleges and universities have water-related career majors. And so he took his skills and expertise and did a deep dive. And he was able to come up with this great matrix and this wonderful graphic. So again, shout out to him of our local Santa Clara County and local Bay Area community colleges that have water-related career majors already. And so we will be using this information for our targeted outreach efforts when we are working with our programs. And that leads to our Discover Valley Water program, which, as I said, is to really establish and improve connections with minority serving institutions and to assist with recruiting diverse candidates for Valley Water internships, and also really taking a look at enhancing recruiting efforts by sending diverse leadership to speak to high school and colleges. And so what we're doing is a twofold for this program. We have our internal and our external messaging and partners. So as we had our summer interns on board this year, we used our internal communications. At Valley Water, as our employees on board, there's a thing called News You Can Use. And this is just like our newsletter that helps to share about what's happening here at Valley Water. But there's a column called New Employee Column. And so what we did is we created a summer intern column here internally. And so as our summer interns were onboarding, their information and bios were shared across all of our monitors internally. And it was a really great way to welcome our students and welcome our college students and our early career professionals. As we were also, collaborating with our communications department, we decided to see if we could do a Instagram takeover, a social media takeover. And so on National Intern Day, which was July 28th, 2022, we did an Instagram takeover that had a series of TikTok style reels. And a TikTok style reel is a video that has a music that plays with it. And you might see people pointing to certain text boxes that describe what they're doing. And so one of our social media takeovers for Instagram was to have interns from various departments working on various projects share about their internship. And so here you're actually seeing my intern from the summer, Alexia, share about what her internship was here at Valley Water, what type of intern that she was, and what she enjoyed doing. So that was a reel. And so those are like videos and that are posted on our Valley Water Instagram page. but we also did some static posting, and these are photos that you can scroll through on your Instagram or your social media channels. And so our static post just said, happy #National Intern Day. And we had the interns gather outside of our headquarters building. I believe they're actually on their way to their facilities tour and their bus tour. And so these are just great ways for us to highlight Valley Water, our internships, using our social media, and really trying to target our audiences and build out our partnerships. Which leads me to talk a bit more about our Valley Water partnerships and the importance of strategic partnerships as you're looking at building out early career projects and planning. One thing I had to remind myself, and I still do again and again, is that I'm not a teacher anymore. I'm not in the classroom. I can't ask, our engineers and scientists and employees and staff here at Valley Water to do the teaching as I would have in a classroom. But what I can do is bring strategic partnerships that will help us identify students that they work with that would be wonderful for our programs here at Valley Water. And so this is just a snapshot of a few of the partners that we're working with here in Santa Clara County. Metro Ed, they work with older students, college students that are making that transition between careers and careers or college to career. We also work with Silicon Valley Career Pathways. They help to identify students in both college and high school who have, desires to work in the water industry. We're working with the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley to help, again, identify, disadvantaged students from disadvantaged communities that might need internship or resources or mentorship opportunities. MapN is another extension of Metro Ed. MapN works specifically with students from low-income areas and disadvantaged students, high school students, helping them to identify their college and career aptitude. I mentioned the Tech Interactive STEM Pathways program, and of course, Baywork. So these are just some of our local community partners that we're working with to help expand our Next Gen program. And then something that, again, is near and dear to my heart here is our high school internship program. So here in Santa Clara County, actually right down the street from Valley Water, we have a campus called Silicon Valley Career Tech Ed. And so we're working with and we're partnering with Silicon Valley Career Tech Ed to sponsor internships for their high school students in our skilled trades. So electricians, mechanics, engineers, machinists, really looking to find high school students that already have these really great skills, or as Robert Scott will say, students with untapped skills potential, which I really like that definition. So looking for students that have that untapped potential to take part in careers in water. And the aim is to really work with our underrepresented communities and focusing on the demographic and the shifts in our county. As you can see, our Santa Clara County, we just went through the redistricting a few months ago. And what we're seeing is that we also have a lot of employees that are retiring from Valley Water. And so this is a great way to do that knowledge transfer, holistically, by having that next generation student come in and work with our career professionals. So what I also did is taking a really good look at, our high school internship survey before starting a program, really wanting to make sure that this is something that staff wanted to have, that staff, that we had the buy-in from staff, from mentors. And so we were able to launch an internal survey. And I'm happy to say that we did have, 54 people answered. We had more yeses than nos, which is always great to hear. And that there is a deep desire for a high school intern, that our mentors here, our staff here, employees at Valley Water, they do want to be mentors. They do want to help that next generation learn about their careers in water. And so that's also very exciting. We've gone back and forth about the duration of the internship. How long should it be? So we've taken a look at a year-round high school internship, a 4-month high school internship, something a bit shorter, 2 month, I'm sorry, and then, kind of ad hoc as is. And so I was really excited to see that year-round and 4-month high school internships are what our staff is looking for. So as this program develops, we'll be building in curriculum that will help to support these. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about the curriculum that's built into the program as I'm talking more about the high school program later on. And then this is an area where you can see what our mentors are going to want and need from our human resources. This is an area of collaboration with our current workforce development program. As I said earlier on in the presentation, we took a deep dive into what Valley Water is doing right. What are we doing in terms of mentorships, in terms of trainings that we currently offer, and how can those mentorships and training opportunities be used for our high school program and our high school mentorship program as well too. So as you can see here, there's lots of opportunities for training and resources. And so some of the curriculum that we're going to be using for our high school program will be the Project Cornerstone Developmental Assets. Now, Project Cornerstone is a YMCA initiative. It is throughout Santa Clara County. I had the privilege of being a volunteer for Project Cornerstone while my children were in elementary school. And I really gravitated to their Asset of the Month calendar. And this is, so the developmental assets are the external and internal assets that people need to basically have high self-esteem and feel good about themselves. And so the external assets deal with relationships and opportunities. That's exactly what mentoring is. That's what having an internship is. And the internal assets really work on that social emotional strength, personal values, and personal commitments. And again, that is the premise of an internship, right? Taking someone, making them stronger, helping them identify their values, and helping them have a stronger commitment to themselves, their job, and their community. There will also be college and career readiness curriculum from the California College and Career Readiness Curriculum. I didn't have to reinvent the wheel here. I just had to go find the curriculum. It is wonderful. I'm happy to share it with our audiences as well too. But what I really like about it is that this is a curriculum for grades 5 through 12 that can be modified for any age. And they have lesson plans that deal with research careers that you like and write a brief essay about why you like their careers. Something simple as that to even get fifth graders thinking about what they want to do in the future. And they also have a series of YouTube videos that accompany each of the lessons as well too, which I love because, who doesn't want to watch a 7 to 10 minute YouTube video and then feel like they're an expert and then feel really empowered to go on and deliver that content to somebody else? I think we've all probably done it here. And so excited to be able to include those elements of the program from the California College and Career Readiness and also from Project Cornerstone Developmental Assets. And our goal is to launch and pilot a high school internship this coming January. And so our first school that we will be working with will be Cristo Rey Jesuit High Schools. They already have an amazing corporate work study program. Over the summer, staff from Valley Water was able to go and support their corporate ready program. And in this program, students, what you're seeing these photos of, these are freshmen. So these are, 13, 14, 15-year-old students that are preparing to go into a job for a year. So it's a year-round internship. And here during this networking day, we were doing practice interviews with the students. We were having casual conversations with the students. We were having challenging developmental conversations with the students as well too, so that they could get practice in talking to adults. You'll be surprised at how much fear and anxiety, teenagers have with talking out loud, especially to strangers or people that they don't feel comfortable with. So we were really honored to be able to go and work with these students to help them feel a little bit more comfortable as they enter their job, as they enter their career, and as they go into their internship. So again, what's near and dear to my heart here is the collaboration that we will have with our external partners. And so what you're seeing here are photos from our education outreach team when we were collaborating, and we collaborate annually with Walden West. So Walden West is a outdoor school here. They teach stewardship and conservation. It's also science camp. Little fun fact here, I was a Walden West camp counselor my junior year and senior year in high school. So as my friends were going to Cabo and taking these really great spring breaks, I was going to Walden West Science Camp to be a science camp naturalist, because that was my happy place. I really like hiking and being out, and it kind of started my water journey. Now that I think about it, we would hike by creeks. And so Valley Water has a huge commitment to continue to help Walden West build out their curriculum. And then we also were doing some work down in South County. Every year down in Morgan Hill, they have an educator resource fair. And so Valley Water was able to help the educator resource fair here and do a hands-on lesson with their teachers. And this actually led to recruitment for educators for the Baywork Ignited Externship Week. And so what you're seeing here are some photos from that Baywork Ignited Externship Week. You're seeing teachers that are holding up signs that say that they pledge to conserve water in their classrooms and with their students. They're here at the our Valley Water Advanced Purification Center. They took a tour of the Purification Center, learned about the recycled water process, and were able to have a fun activity with our education outreach team. The next picture that you're seeing that says the TechSTEM Academy Summer Institute, this was the home run, and a huge high five to one of our subject matter experts internally, Mr. Zach Helsley, who works on the recycled water team. These educators that you're seeing in the photo, they wanted to help their students understand recycled water, understand the water treatment process, understand, just the science that goes behind it. And so for 2 weeks, they worked with Zach as their subject matter expert to help build a filtration system using, office supplies and materials that are easily found in your classroom or at home. And they were able to help construct a scenario that is aligned to content standards. So that's huge within the education industry. It's really making sure that, Common Core, ELA, California science standards are all being adhered to as you're doing fun activities like building a filtration system with your students. So as you can see here, the TechSTEM pathway and Baywork and Ignited do a really good job of recruiting educators throughout Santa Clara County and throughout the larger Bay Area to help train them into inspiring their students. That's a perfect segue into what we are also doing here at Valley Water in terms of training our students. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I had the privilege of being the lead for the education outreach team. So one of the things that we were working on before I came over was a career in waters messaging. And it's been amazing to now have this human resources opportunity to help to kind of solidify this and to really take a look at someone's path to a career in water. So currently, our education outreach team is out delivering water career messaging as part of their presentations and engagements to students throughout Santa Clara County. And in their presentation, they really do focus on the student's path to a career in water, and not just a student's path from a 4-year degree, but also, as we know, there are many careers in the water industry where you don't need to have 4-year degree, where you can have certifications, where you can have years of experience, and we can also, translate and transfer some of your other knowledge that you've had from previous experiences into your careers here. And so we really focus and highlight on careers that need bachelor's degrees, such as, biologists and engineers, but also careers that don't need or require a 4-year degree. So these are careers that require 2 or more years of experience, or college units, or sometimes a high school diploma and certification. And so we're really happy to be able to share that messaging. As I said before, not knowing about careers in water, I feel like I was doing a disservice to my students. And so now it's really important for me to say to students like, hey, if you're college bound and 4-year bound, that's amazing. And congratulations to you. There's a career track for you in the water industry. But if you're not college bound, if you're not 4-year ready, if you are looking at, community college as your destination, your jumping off point to your career, then guess what? We have 28 community colleges throughout the Bay Area where you can learn and about different careers in water. And so here, I love this graphic because you can see that there's 28 manufacturing related programs throughout the Bay Area. And so this is really just, for students to understand, no matter where you are, if you're down in South County or Morgan Hill, if you're, in Palo Alto or even Santa Rosa, there are colleges for you to go to find out more about the various careers in the water industry. So our next steps for our Next Gen program, and coming soon, will be our Valley Water Next Gen Workforce Development webpage. So on our web pages, you will be able to find out all of the information of those 4 different initiatives I talked about. So the Water Work Experience program, our Discover Valley Water College program, our high school internship program, and our water educator program. And so what you're seeing right now is, so if you were to log on when the website launches, you'll see this as the home page with our branded imaging, some career messaging or some messaging about the program. And when you click on one of the photos there, it will take you to the individual pages for each of those programs. And so right here, you're seeing the individual landing page for our Water Work Experience program and our Discover Valley Water program. Again, students and teachers will be able to find out information regarding our high school internship and our externships as well too. And just a quick fun fact, some of the elements of our programs for our water worker 6-month experience will also include mentorship, which we're really happy about. There will also be our Next Gen partnership page. So this page will highlight our various partners that we are working with and collaborating with to help spread our messaging here of our internships and the various opportunities that we have for students. And then there will also be an additional careers resource pages for our students to find out more about California water jobs and jobs here throughout the state of California. Well, that leads me to the end of my presentation. And I just want to know if you have any questions. Or Ingrid, if you have anything that you'd like to share that I may have missed, please feel free to jump in.
No, I am here for any questions. I think we've given a lot of information. Hopefully people are interested and definitely get some questions given to us.
I'm gonna try to figure out how to stop share so I can see everyone's faces. Sorry, guys. There you go.
I have a question.
Hi, Mark. Yes.
So how do you account for the risk when you bring on interns into a facility?
Well, you want me to start, Ingrid? Do you want to start with that one?
Can you repeat the question again?
So you have a wastewater facility and you are bringing in interns. How do you manage that risk?
How do we manage it? So we do have a partnership with Gavilan College down in Gilroy for skilled trade interns. And those are generally adults that are taking that program. So we don't really bring high school students onto our plans per se. We bring them on as temporary employees. So we use a temp agency. And so that is how we have, coverage for workers' comp and other types of insurance that they would need to be on our site. So they're considered like a temporary employee during the time that they're there. In terms of the high school students, obviously we'll have to be more restrictive. There's more laws related to how we cover them. And we will be working with those partners that already have a way of funding and taking on that risk.
And for, I think, Mark, you're also speaking to the practical risk of them just being on site and knowing where the hazards are and that kind of stuff. So our maintenance and operations departments will ensure that they are working with a journey level person and taking classes or when I say courses, I mean online courses or doing some trainings that will make them aware of the chemical hazards and the physical hazards and all that before they are put into any situation where there's danger.
So
Yes,
they would
and-
receive baseline safety training. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
And also, especially for students who are coming from community colleges, there are often cooperative education agreements that can be negotiated between the community college and the employer, where the community college basically takes on that risk. They become sort of the third party employer of record. There are some hoops that the agency has to jump through for that to happen. And also working through JBS. We also have a vendor who serves as a third party employer of record when employers are working with JBS on recruiting interns. So there's several opportunities to help sort of reduce those risks. But I think what Robert mentioned is the most important thing, which is making sure that the agency is making sure that students are working with journey level staff and that they're getting the appropriate safety training and any other training the agency might deem critical before they're ever on the site.
And we would also cover anything that they might need for personal protective equipment, whether it be hard hats or they need to go get, what do they call those boots?
Like safety shoes.
Safety shoes,
Yeah.
that have that protection in the toes. And so,
So you
safety
would meet
obviously is very
the
important.
standard of the agency is the
Yes.
short version.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
the other aspect is in terms of curriculum at the high school level, what have you been able to introduce in terms of the water business or the water careers? I'm curious about that as well.
Well, Mark, I can have a long and lengthy conversation with you about high school water curriculum. There are agencies out there. I know that down in Southern California, they're already implementing these types of programs. There is a curriculum that has already been vetted that emphasizes the various careers in water. I'm happy to share all of that with you. As I said, for our program, we're looking at the California College and Career Readiness curriculum because it's a one-stop shop. It goes from 5th grade to 12th grade. It's step by step. It can be modified for various grades, can be modified for various language acquisitions as well too. But I'd be happy to share with you all of the water curriculum that we have come across. But I will say one of the challenges that we have or we face in the water industry is we have this really great curriculum that is CTE, so Career Technical Ed sponsored certified, but there is a shortage of California career tech educators. So although the students might be engaging in this curriculum in their classroom, it won't be officially CTE credit because their teachers are not certified in that area. And so that's something that we have been talking with Ignited, with other partners throughout the state is how do we help our educators that are passionate become CTE certified so that they can go into their classrooms and do what they do and the students can actually, get college credit and get credit in these areas.
Please give me your contact information or arrange so we can have a conversation. I'm very interested in CTE.
Wonderful. And
Anybody
Mark,
who's on
what
here who
agency
knows
are you
me.
from?
I'm representing the town of Hillsborough,
Oh, okay.
but then more importantly, I'm representing the Bayview, as I am the product of an environmental lawsuit, and I am determined to give back what I have been given.
I'd be happy to share the resources with you as well, Mark.
Yeah, I can't impress strongly enough the importance of both high school based programs that at the very least provide career awareness, and Mira, I thought what you said was really important and so powerful about not even knowing where your drinking water was coming from. And that's what the teacher externships are so important, because they help us reach thousands of students who learn, if nothing else, they learn about where their water comes from, and the types of jobs that are required to ensure that the water coming out of their tap is clean and drinkable. And that you'd be surprised at how many young people that inspires to pursue something with an environmental lens. It may or may not be water and wastewater specifically, but it certainly engenders a lot of curiosity and good questions about the kinds of jobs that are available.
We have a question in the chat. It says, what programs are there for people who are coming from other industries?
This reminds me of back in my days when I was more involved with Baywork, and I was working with Robert and Elizabeth and some of our other Baywork board members now. We've done different collaboratives with different community colleges, and really looked at learning from some of the industries that have been more progressive than I guess the water industry has been, in terms of funding programs at colleges, so that the colleges are able to, train people for our field. So I know in the past we had attended conference workshops with the oil industry, with even the healthcare industry. I mean, there's lots of other industries that might have skills that are related to the water field. So I know Baywork has done a lot of work in that. I posted the link from the Baywork site where it shows where you can find training. I would think that anybody looking to get into our industry would want to, one, look at our specs, because sometimes, for example, people in the military have a lot of relatable experience that they could really tap into. So it's really looking at those specs and seeing what are the requirements. And then if you don't have those requirements, and obviously getting some of that additional training so that you can make that link and have the transfer. I mentioned Gavilan College, they built a whole water resources program, and a lot of people have used that as a way of transitioning into a new career. So I don't know if there's any other ideas, Robert or Elizabeth or Mira, that you can think of, but those are the things that kind of came to mind.
Well, that's good, Ingrid. I just want to reiterate that this what Mara's been presenting on is relative to our next generation. Those that come from other industry aren't necessarily the next generation. But as Ingrid said, if you go to the baywork.org website, you can see professionals from the water industry and tell their story and how they got into the industry, the pathway they took. So I would invite you, as it says in the link in the chat, to go to the baywork.org website and look at the career pathways there. But this program that Mara's been talking about is more focused on our next generation than it is on those coming out of other industries.
Thanks, Robert. Also, I was going to say that there is it's called WEA, the Water Energy Education Alliance. They're doing a lot of work towards the Southern California area in this, career messaging, career exploration, crossover career changes. And so there are conversations that are happening. There are organizations that have information as well too. So again, that's WEA, Water Energy Education Alliance, and they're doing some really great work down in Southern California on these issues as well too.
Any other questions or comments from anyone? You can just unmute and speak. Jasmine, you typed in here that you're free. Do you care to elaborate? Or maybe you meant to send a direct message to someone?
I am so sorry. I'm multitasking here, and I'm connecting with people at CTEC as well as Fontana School District that we're actually working on a project and trying to get the job descriptions from the water agency to CTEC to build a curriculum at the high school level. So I also work with WIA, and we are working at the college level and JC level with Elizabeth and at IE Works in the Southern California. So all of this is good, great. I just want us all to stay connected and just build on this so it can be a state program that we are capturing the high school students as well as the JC level to see this career path that will build on a path that could be a livable wage, a livable salary, an opportunity to provide for their family and to live anywhere in California, and this program will exist. So I love this information. Thank you. I'm just capturing names and notes so I can make sure I tie it all together.
Thanks,
So I'm
Jasmine. Thank you. Thank you.
And then Jeff, I believe Jeff had unmuted himself and is present.
Yeah, I first wanted to compliment you. Excellent presentation and well needed in our point of our industry. Like Jasmine said, Inland Utility Empire, I got a lot of good information from Randy Lee, and I applaud that program as well. Basically, I have a question. Levi Fuller, I think everybody knows who Levi Fuller is, correct?
Most of us do, yes.
All right, so we're coworkers for quite a while. So we wanted to have some type of road show we were contemplating, but we never got around to it, where we'd reach out to the high schools in various communities and have a couple of the different traits that make up a living, breathing wastewater treatment plant, right? And get that interest going. Is there any energy or program or movement to make such a program where we can go to certain athletic programs and reach out and let them know there is a pathway? You do not have to take this traditional pathway that is incredibly expensive to take.
I would say yes to your point here. And Levi is a critical person to work with on that. And we've been working, Baywork that is, we've been working with Levi as one of our central points of contact with the Bakwi and Bakwa, trying to figure out a way to get people into the industry. And Baywork has been kind of teaming up them. In fact, we're going to be having a meeting soon to discuss more methodologies on how we can get people into the industry, because some of the strategies haven't reaped the fruit that we had wanted it to. And so we're now trying to explore and think out the box. What is it we're missing and why we're not able to grasp people and get them more interested? In fact, Bakwi and Bakwa has been trying to sponsor college kids to go to take some of these college courses, and they've given money away. It's going to send them, and they haven't gotten the attention that they want. But they've been talking about ways to think out the box and think of some other ways to get people in. So your suggestion about going to these other events or whatever, that might be something that needs to be considered. So my answer to your question is yes, we're pondering new ways to try to reach the young people and get them more interested in our industry.
Perfect, perfect. And I really applaud that social media example that Meredith just showed. I mean, that to me, there's all kinds of messaging out there and campaigns, but you know, you're entering their world. This is their language, how they think and act. Well done.
Thanks, Jeff. You know, I in my other role at Valley Water, I work with civic engagement, and that's one thing that I was able to bring over to human resources is just really understanding, you know, how to do that targeted captured messaging and find people where they are and then bring them on board. So thank you for recognizing that and appreciating that. And thanks for Ingrid for you know, honoring my crazy request. I remember her face when I said, hey, I want to do the social media takeover. And she was kind of like, I don't don't know about that, but it really turned into something great. And so I just want to say thank you, Ingrid, for your innovation and your flexibility, for allowing me to explore some of these more crazy ideas that I have.
They're fun ideas, great ideas.
My fun ideas. Thank you.
Well, we're at the top of the hour, and we want to thank everybody for being with us today. I'm going to, we already did. We have a survey that's in the chat, the survey link. Please complete our survey. Tell us your thoughts about the presentation today. We'll also send the survey out via email to those that are in attendance. But we want to thank you for your time today. Continue to watch and stay tuned to Baywork activities. This is our final session of our training buffet. I think it's been a great success. But before we close, I want to give Ingrid and Mara, anyone else who would like to have a final comment, to say something as we continue to think about the future workforce of water. Mara, any final thoughts?
I just want to say thanks again to Baywork and thank you to our attendees. And as I started off, I really hope that you receive some relevant, realistic, and relatable information today during this presentation. So thank you. Ingrid?
I can't add much more because I think the presentation was great, and it was great seeing all the faces of people that attended today's presentation. And I think we're on the right track. We just have to keep going forward. And as I think one of the other ladies that spoke earlier, just keep in contact and building this network. So thank you so much.
It's good to see someone here from Hawaii. They said aloha and mahalo from Hawaii. So this is a problem that stretches wide and far. So we have to be concerned about the future workforce. And just to remind you, Baywork's core value is that we can't have operational reliability without workforce reliability. So this is critical to Baywork's core purpose. So thanks everyone for attending. Be sure to complete our survey and stay tuned to Baywork activities moving forward. And we are really concerned about our industry and we want to keep it going. So thank you. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Look forward to hearing and seeing you soon. Take care, everyone.